Ladies and gentlemen, it is the official Pinehurst edition of Golf DMV. We're in a very fancy conference room at the Carolina Hotel. I feel executive. I feel like golf legit being in this room. Shout out, number one, to Jay, who works for guest services. And he walked up to him, hey, Jay, man, we need a conference room to record Golf DMV. And he says, you know what? Let me go ahead and find you a room, get a key, unlock it for you guys. You can do what you do. Shout out because he noticed the Oxon Hill basketball backpack.
Shout out, Coach.
That I was wearing because Coach gave it to all of us. I think he gave all of us that. Yeah, Coach B gave it to us and stuff like that. So he noticed the Oxon Hill connection. He went to Elon. And at Elon, there was a young lady who played basketball who went to Oxon Hill. So when he saw the Oxon Hill reference, he was like, wait, where do I know Oxon Hill from? Shout out PG County. We told him about the documentary, Something in the Water, to go back and watch it. And so hopefully Jay watches it. So shout out to Jay. We gave him a card. By we, I mean LB gave him a card.
Yes, he's always prepared.
So, yeah, exactly. So hopefully hopefully Jay listens to the show and hears his shout out. Second shout out that I've got to give to is to LB for setting up the Pinehurst trip and getting everything together for us. He is the consummate trip planner and he loves the fellowship behind the trip. He loves getting everybody together and wanting everybody to get together and hang out and fellowship and talk. So shout out to LB, who just took a sip of his drink.
Yeah, also shout out to LB. LB, what do we got here? What are we drinking on here?
What's that?
We are drinking Grey Goose DX. It is a mixture of Grey Goose vodka and cognac. It's a discontinued item. So you can't find it anymore unless you pay, 4 or 5 times the original value.
I appreciate you, Mrs. Brooks. I've never had it before, so I'm going to be tasting it for the first time. I told him to only give me a little bit. I don't want to waste it. Claude said he will just toss it out immediately. Because he doesn't care.
LB, very generous with his portion. Conservative with ours. Conservative with ours.
Because y'all sampling. I know what it tastes like.
That's pretty good.
It is. No, it's good.
Yeah.
It's fun.
The cognac gives it like a nice little flavor. That you wouldn't normally get from vodka.
Right.
But this isn't a vodka show, so what are we doing?
Well, there we go. And we'll wait till we get a sponsorship from Grey Goose.
That's right.
Right.
Because you run into geese all the time on the golf course. It's a natural sponsor. So if the people at Grey Goose want to sponsor the show, we can do something. But this is all about Pinehurst. Another shout out I want to give is a shout out to Vern, who for all 3 rounds on the course number 7, on number 2, and number 4 carried a professional camera and a phone with a tripod for video and stuff.
Gimbal joint.
Took all kinds of photos, all kinds of videos.
There's going to be cool videos coming up soon. I promise.
YouTube, Instagram. And he carried all this stuff throughout all the rounds while playing.
And played well.
And trying to focus and played extremely well.
Played not too bad for myself.
I think you had the low round for all 3 rounds.
He did.
If I'm not mistaken.
Yes, I did.
Also, shout out to the homie Aaron, who's just now coming through the room. Aaron is hanging out here. Had fun with Aaron, who, it looks like he comes to the room looking a little distressed.
Yes.
Yeah. He said he had too much wine.
In that case, you need some of this.
Maybe you shouldn't pour him any of this special case. A lot of stuff coming up on this show. We've got some useful tips if you are planning a trip to go to Pinehurst. Just some things that we notice. And it's not going to be the normal stuff that you that you see on YouTube or that you heard on other podcasts, like, number 2's a beast. The greens. No, we're going to give you actual things that are going to help you. Okay? Because I want to talk about some of the people who tried to strike fear in the hearts of the Golf DMV team about how hard it was going to be, all this other kind of trash. We're going to get to that later. Also, we've got a big announcement. Golf DMV big announcement.
Huge announcement.
You're going to want to stick around for this.
LB's going to help us with that later in the show. But first, we'll start with 2 takeaways each. Like just before we get into each individual round, Pinehurst itself, I just want to go with 2 takeaways that you guys have when it comes from this weekend, and we'll start with LB. Okay, we were pointing at Vern. When I said LB, LB pointed at Vern. We'll start with Vern.
2 takeaways. Number 1, number 2 will not absolutely destroy you. You can play number 2. Don't believe the hype. I'm legit quoting Joe House here. Shout out Joe House. We'll get to that later. We'll talk about that. But basically, number 2 won't destroy you. Takeaway number 2, the walking. Not as bad as I thought. For any of you who are not used to, who don't walk regularly, and you're like, hey, we want to plan this trip to Pinehurst, we're not really sure. Number 2 is an easy walk. Number 4, maybe a little bit, more difficult, and we'll get into the specifics later. But The walkability is fine. The courses are beautiful, and you really can't get at number 2. Don't be scared. Come down here. Don't be scared. Come down here. Play number 2. It's beautiful, and you won't regret it.
Absolutely.
Okay.
LB,
can one of my 2 be similar to his?
Absolutely.
Yes.
Okay, yeah. 2 is way overrated.
Okay.
That's just my opinion.
That's a hot take.
Yeah.
It's way overrated.
Uh-huh.
And the
I
other,
wonder why you feel that.
That's not what I said.
okay. Yeah. I just think it's we'll get to it. We'll go to details later, but I think it's overrated.
Okay.
The other thing is the Pinehurst organization, their company, enterprise, whatever you want to call it.
Yeah.
They know how to treat golfers. I mean, everything here has been on point.
That's
the rooms have been nice.
Yeah.
The food has been good. I've been eating ribeyes, 12-ounce ribeyes every night.
Food's been great. Yeah.
Yeah, it's included in your price too.
As a resident foodie on the show who would usually smell, like when some people tell me, "Hey, resort," and the food is included, I start rolling my eyes.
Right.
As the food snob, like, okay, what are we gonna have? Nachos and pig's feet,
pigs in the blanket.
Yeah, pigs in the blanket. So, the food was actually surprisingly good.
Yeah.
The steaks were actually cooked really well.
Yes.
It was good. So yeah.
My 2 takeaways: if you're a golfer, come to Pinehurst. Plan a Pinehurst trip.
Yeah.
Go. It's worth it.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
Yeah.
I think that if you come, definitely play 2. At least play it.
You have
know
to
what I
play
mean?
it. Yeah.
But come to Pinehurst.
Yeah.
Number 1.
If you're in the Mid-Atlantic, there's no reason you shouldn't have been here already.
Right. Exactly.
Yeah.
Exactly. And my second takeaway is you can't underestimate the value of a caddy who knows what they're doing and who can feel the group. You know what I mean? Who can feel what you need, because maybe the hardcore instruction, here's what you do, is not what I would like.
Right.
And so you a little more conversational, having fun,
Right.
And giving some instruction along the way versus someone like Vern who may want that hardcore,
right.
Instruction and stuff like that. So, can't underestimate the value of caddies. Shout out to all the caddies out there.
Yes.
And all of our caddies. I mean, we had some great ones.
We did.
Daryl was great.
Yep.
Chris was great.
Yep.
Sam was great.
Jacob.
Lucas, Jacob.
Yeah,
that's
Jacob.
one thing it was.
Yeah,
And
yeah.
Lucas.
Biblical name. Yeah.
Yeah. Jacob was great.
Yeah.
It was okay.
I like Jacob.
Yeah.
I like them all. I like them all for the various reasons. So that was all fun. Okay, so that's our 2 takeaways. So let's start. We get down here on Thursday.
Yeah.
We meet up and we play number 7. When we get there, we're about 2 hours early. We got up early in the morning to get down here.
Yeah. Let them know we drove. We basically woke up 4 in the morning Thursday.
No, we woke up at 3 in the morning.
Okay, you guys woke up at 3 in the morning Thursday. Drove down, and we're playing the same day.
Yes. Right. Okay. And so we get in and we drive down. We get here. Aaron's about 15 minutes away from when we get here.
Yeah.
Lawrence and Vernon say, I'm going to sleep in the car. They sleep in the car. I get the laptop. I'm on the deck working at number 7.
Yep.
Watching people chip and putt and, watching, I guess it was hole number 9 or maybe it was 18 coming back up. And then we get ready to play.
Yes.
I'm on the range and I can't hit a ball to save my life. Right. It is Maryland National-esque, like what is happening to me at this present moment. Because I can't hit a ball to save my life on the range.
Yeah.
And then I go out and I shoot a 95. You know what I mean? Which I will take on any of these Pinehurst courses at this level of golf that I am. The weird thing or the strange thing is that we have this agreement that we're going to play from 6,000.
Here we go.
Right?
Yes.
So that's
that we've always had for the last umpteen years.
Nothing's changed.
No,
right.
No one's made an announcement.
Nothing changed but the location.
We have not had a conference or a meeting where we discuss distance.
Yeah.
But and now this is not an Aaron thing because Aaron wasn't in on the 6K thing to begin with.
Who else was there? Yeah.
Vernon, who was in on this discussion, decides, so we get to the starter, and he says, so the green tees are 57.
Yep.
Well, he said any tee you play from, you got to add 300 to because that's what it's playing. So the green is 57.
Yes.
It plays like 6. So to me and Lawrence, we're thinking 6. Like that's where we're playing from. The greens.
That's our number. Perfect. Right on the head.
Yeah, I hear what they're saying. So
Aaron decides to play from the combos, which played more like 61.
Yeah. So 100 is less than 50. Is closer to 6,000 than 5,700.
But it was plans like 64.
Well, that's a subjective number that somebody made up on the card. Mathematically, 6,100, 5,700. I said, cool. We're gonna play 6,100. That's closer to that's. I feel like I still am within the rule. That's close to 6,000.
But the guy told you got to add 300 to that.
That's
61.
what he felt like. That's what he felt like. Jacob might have said it only adds 50. Jacob might have said we need to play from the blues.
My point is, for the first time in golf DMV history, we're playing from separate tees.
Yes.
You know what I mean?
Yeah.
And I will admit, there were times driving up to the green tees where I did feel like a chump. Where I'm like, they're still driving up and they hitting from back here.
Yeah.
There were times where I did feel like that. But I like number 7.
Yes.
The cool thing about number 7, if you're used to golf courses with tree lines, rolling hills, and things like that, pretty different from what we saw from 2 and 4. And I like 7 in its own way.
Yeah, 2 and 4 were more similar. In doing research for Pinehurst, I saw a lot of 8, 2, and 4. Didn't hear much. 7 didn't get much play. I'm going to tell you. So I guess my takeaway about the walking isn't that bad. It was kind of dumb. The other takeaway should be like put 7 in your rota if you're going to come to Pinehurst. It's worth it. Even if the courses you're used to, if you're like from Florida and you're like, oh, I'm not used to tree line. Put 7 in there. It's going to be a different flavor for you.
Right.
I think you're going to like it. And shout out to 7. Got to put some respect on her name. Daryl Arcady told us that from the tips, 7 has a higher course rating or plays more difficult than number 2.
Than number 2, yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah,
143 for the slope on number 7. So it's legit too. It's not like an easy ride. So definitely, if you come out here, add that one in, even though you're not hearing about it, a ton.
And I definitely understand why I played. So I mean, it was a tough. Yeah. I mean, the difference is like if I'm thinking about like back home in Maryland, like a Waverly Woods. You know what I mean? Yes. Maybe even like a Timbers of Troy, where there's just tree lines
and elevation.
And elevation. Yeah. I mean, you can even go Musket if you want to. You know what I mean?
A couple of tight landing spots for fairways there. You got to place your shots.
But 7 was visually beautiful.
Absolutely,
it was a beautiful course compared to the other 2 that we paid. 7, hands down. Attractiveness, it wins. I mean, it wins the award.
Yeah. I think 4 may be more visually
I think 4 was more attractive.
I disagree 100%.
Okay. All right.
You guys do not know what you're talking about.
Or we just have a different opinion. I mean, or we have a different preference. I mean, but okay.
It's not like waist areas.
So let's talk about 7, LB. What do you think?
It's beautiful. That's what I'm taking home.
So we played 7. I enjoyed 7.
Yeah, I enjoyed 7 too. I just, compared to the kind of courses that we are accustomed to playing, it was in the same vein of those kind of courses. Like you say, tree lined, but it made me feel like I was at a resort because it was well manicured, well maintained. There was no burnt spots out like you see in 2.
Natural.
Yeah. That's whole.
We'll get to all the shade you want to throw at.
Yeah, I'm throwing a lot of shade on 2. Okay. But yeah, it was beautiful. It was just, and again, the elevation changes, and it was just, I felt like I was at a high end course when I played number 7. I did not feel that way on number 2.
Let's just get to number 2. How'd you do at 7, Vern?
91.
Okay,
91 at 7.
Yeah. 95. You, LB?
I had 98.
Okay, and Aaron, how did you do at 7? If you kid.
97, I think.
Okay, 97. Okay. Well, there we go. So yeah, 7 was fun.
That if you can come the night before you're going to play, maybe stay in a cheaper motel or a hotel somewhere close by, and get your rest rather than from where we are driving 4.5, 5.5 hours, and then having to play on a nice golf course.
The same day.
Nice golf course. It's very difficult.
Yeah.
With basically no rest. And after driving 5 hours, I think all of us would have benefited from.
So a day of travel.
Exactly.
Got you. So add a day of travel, put number 7 in your rota.
Right.
And number 2 is the greatest of all time. That's all.
Right.
Speaking of number 2 being the greatest of all time, let's go ahead and talk number 2. So we played number 7, and we all have a good time.
Yeah.
The range and practice facility there is phenomenal.
Top notch.
Top notch. But then we come back, have dinner. Bernard talked about how great the food was. He's our resident foodie. And then we get up the next morning, we go to number 2.
Yeah.
You pull in and you're at this place where you just feel like you're at a top-notch private golf spot. But it's not private.
Yeah.
I mean, but you pull up, they've got the tennis courts and,
the bocce. Was it bocce or something? What was the other thing called?
I mean, just
croquet, lawn bowling.
Yeah. I mean, just all. So you pull in and you let the carts out, the bags out and stuff. You go in, you check in, make sure you're good to go. Then you get to go downstairs. And this was a great experience for me.
Yeah.
Was the fact that you go downstairs and you're in like the caddy.
It's like the caddy check-in area.
Yeah, the caddy check-in area.
The caddy master. That's what it is. Yeah.
Where everybody's bags are down there, all the caddies are down there. They're signing caddies and stuff, and you just feel like you're behind the scenes of a great of like a professional golf tournament.
Championship course. Yeah.
That's what you feel like, And from the main spot, that's where from all the courses 1 through 5, I guess, or whatever.
Yes.
That's where they meet, and then 6, 7, and 8, 9, I guess, are off campus.
Off campus,
off the reservation.
Yeah, but I mean, you go down there and all the bags are there. The caddies are there. They're working things out. Shout out to the caddies for saying, okay, yeah, these bags, we're going to switch these bags out and get bags that are lighter for us to carry. And so they're switching stuff out. We're doing stuff. Then it's okay, no, you guys go to the practice area, get driving range, do whatever you got to do. You walk out there and just the most immaculate practice area that I've personally ever seen.
Agreed.
From, I mean, just expansive driving range, chipping and putting.
Yes.
And then you go over to the right, you got a whole nother chipping and putting area. Then you got the cradle and the little 18-hole putting course that they got here. Yep. And what I liked seeing was just how many people were out there chipping and putting and at the driving range, working on the game, and they're talking.
It was never not empty. It was never, each day we went out there was always just people. You didn't know what they were doing. Were they playing golf, whatever? Didn't matter. Everybody was happy. To me, it almost felt when you pulled up to number 2 or just to the main resort. I know I'm in North Carolina, but it didn't feel like it. It didn't
feel like we was in Southern California. Or something.
It just feels like its own isolated thing, and you're just there, and everything's close by. It's hard to explain, like, because when you go off, you're like, oh, North Carolina, but then when you come here, I don't know. It's hard to like.
Did you notice the diversity too of the people that were out there on that practice area?
Yes,
you had kids from like 10 to 90,
70-year-old women.
Yeah. Everybody's playing. Everybody's playing.
Yeah.
It was just interesting to watch. And it's like, okay, this feels like we're at a legit spot, and we've been to some really good courses.
Yeah, but nothing ever like this.
Nothing like this.
Speak for yourself.
Okay.
Well,
all right. Okay.
And I just assume that in order to have, when you have those 5 courses, you probably need a really expansive, practice area.
Exactly. That's a lot of course management to have in one spot.
But it reminds me of when we've been able to see the PGA, up until this point in certain tournaments, the practice area and stuff that they have. You know what I mean? Whether it was at TPC, Avondale, Congressional, the courses we've been able to see them at. Like, I mean, you walk up and how they have it all formatted. It's like, man, this is a really good, practice area.
Yeah, and the cool thing was, like, there's so much of it. Again, you'll see some of this in the videos on YouTube. I got a lot of footage of it, maybe some pictures. But there's just, when you walk out, I think when you walk through the clubhouse, and as soon as you come out, there's just this right in front of you. There's just this massive green. I don't know if you guys remember this, and just a single flag stick just sitting there on that big putting surface, and it's immaculate. So I'm like, okay, cool. Well, I'll walk around the back, and there'll be like some regular putting surface. No, it's all the same.
Yeah.
Everywhere you go, it's like, oh no, this isn't messed up. This is everything's.
It was beautiful.
Yeah, everything's beautiful.
Yeah,
yep.
Except for number 2. Yeah.
Well, let's get to number 2. So day 2 we played number 2.
Yeah.
And I just enjoyed it thoroughly. I mean, it is a 100% a test of golf.
Yeah.
100%.
Yeah.
We all did decide to play from the greens.
Yes.
And it was just, I mean, and I didn't play great at all, but it was just like, but let me say this. I didn't play great, but to all the people, I mean, we got a few, Instagram hits and other things about how tough number 2 is going to be, and oh my God, it's going to kill you, and oh my goodness, it's going to blah 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 blah. I don't care if you guys never listen to this show ever again. You were 100% wrong. Like stop it. Like so. I didn't play great, but it wasn't because the course didn't do me in.
Right.
I hit bad shots.
Yep.
You know what I mean? Like I topped, balls, and I dribbled a few down the fairway.
You failed to execute on basic things.
Yes. On basic things that I won't say normally, but that I think usually I don't. You know what I mean? Like I think I have more rounds like I had at Links of Charlotte than I do at Maryland National.
Yeah,
you know what I mean? Exactly. And so I played more like Maryland National, even though I didn't score as bad, than I did at number 2, or I could do it at Links of Charlotte.
Right.
I love number 2. I think anytime we come down, or if I come back down, you've got to play it. Yeah. There's no point in coming down here and not play number 2.
I agree.
That's just what I feel.
Before LB jumps in with his negativities, I'll just say this is going to sound like, I don't know, some foo-foo, because I'm not really this dude in terms of like talking in this way. But I will say, after we teed off on the first box, when we first stepped off, and I was behind everybody because I had the cameras, but when I first started walking off, and the oh, you want some more, do you? And the caddies... Clyde has another sip of the.
We have a winner, folks. We have a winner.
Another sip of the fine liquor here for those who are not watching on YouTube.
It's not bad.
When I first stepped off, and just the visual, like I had my camera up to my face and I took a picture of it. of us walking down the middle of the fairway with the caddies in front of us and you guys fanning out on this beautiful, expansive fairway. I just felt, I don't know how to describe it. I felt I was a little bit giddy or something. I was like, this is dope. I've never done this before. This is bleeping exciting. I love this.
Now, I will say this. Part of my infatuation with number 2 could be the anticipation of it. You know what I mean?
Could be.
And just the history behind it and stuff like that. So I get that.
Yeah.
But there is just something different about that.
There is, and it was like the last thing I saw. Like I said, the walk was good, and just knowing you're walking somewhere where other pros have and will walk again, it's different. And again, I'm gonna have to credit Joe House again. He's producing a lot of the show today, but he made a good point. If a guy we texted, a guy we DMing on Instagram, House said the beauty of number 2 is that it can be tough for the pros, but the amateur can also still come play the course. He said that's the beauty of the design. Not that it's supposed to obliterate, which is what I think his take was on. Like, we were DMing Joe House about how tough this is going to be, and like Claude said, of all the people who said, "Oh, you're going to get destroyed," he said no. He said no. He said take your time. There's a couple of greens you need to pick your spots or whatever, but you can go out there and hit decent shots and get the course, and that's the beauty of design. The amateur can come play it, the pro can come play it, and it can provide a fair challenge to both of them, which I think is a fair statement, even if you don't like the course.
All right, Lawrence, go ahead.
And let me clear out.
Go ahead, Lawrence.
Okay, so. Now I understand the history of number 2, and I can appreciate that. I dig that. I'm with that 100%. I just the links courses that I've played up until now, have been, and we talked about this earlier, are American links courses.
Yep.
This course is intended to be what the original courses were designed to be, or
what you would get in like Europe, Ireland, England.
Yeah, right. So if that is the case, I don't like those courses.
Okay.
It is what it is.
Fair
I
enough.
don't like those courses.
Right.
I don't like all the waste area they call it. Just give me some grass. Give me some thick rough. I'll take thick rough over the sandy burns and the whispery grasses that's sticking up blocking your balls and the little mounds and molehills that you had to hit over and around and through. To me, that's not fun.
It's also golf. Oh, not fun. Okay, that's fair enough.
It's not fun. It's not fun.
Fair enough.
And this is just personally for me, and I said this before we even came down here. What's that? I said I have a problem hitting out of that kind of crap.
Right.
And I was in that crap all day.
You were.
I stayed in there. I couldn't get out of it.
Yeah.
So that does temper my hatred for number 2.
All right.
Could you appreciate it despite how you played?
No, because
it's hard for you to do that,
Did
right?
you leave a comment card for the Rosses so that maybe they can put some rough in?
Yeah, they need to fix it. They need to fix it up for me. But again, like I say, I understand that this is how golf was intended to be played. Okay. That's fine. Right. I just don't like that. Okay. I mean, I just don't like that.
Fair enough.
Okay. Give me the manicured fairways and the cut down rough and. You know what I mean? Everything's in place. No burnout spots in the fairways. Right. That's the kind of golf I like.
Right.
Okay. If I'm paying $300 or however much it costs us to play, that's the kind of course I want to play. I don't want to be in the sand and all the dirt and all that nonsense that we had going on here.
But despite what you liked or didn't like, did you feel anything with number 2? Did you feel like, this is a championship course? I can see these pros playing here.
No.
Yeah, be honest with you, no.
Okay.
Not even with the first 6 green complexes. The ones that were mounted.
I'm talking about. We talking about the course. Or we talking about the facility.
He's talking about the course. You think he's talking about the course in general?
He's talking about just on number 2 in general.
Yeah.
Honestly, I didn't. It did nothing for me.
Man,
it did nothing. It did nothing for me.
Wow.
And I appreciate having the caddies in the putting part of number 2 on the greens.
Yeah.
Oh, absolutely. That I think if anything for me, that was more. What I see professionals dealing with is the putting.
That was
part.
like nothing you could ever putt on before.
No,
okay. well, maybe except
maybe TPC and Tampa had some greens that were similar to that.
Right.
But other than the greens, again the fairways, those waste areas and stuff, you can miss me with all that stuff.
Okay.
The greens were legit professional grade. Stimp meeting ratings and hills and molehills and all that
breaks
stuff
that you can't see.
You're right.
Yeah.
That was 100%.
Yeah, that's one thing. I mean, starting from number 7, but this whole trip to Pinehurst showed me that I have no clue how to read greens. Like, I mean, I can read some of the ones from back home, but they're nothing compared to what we had to deal with at Pinehurst. I mean, even from the standpoint that, and Vernon, we were talking about this. I'm like, when I'm repairing, pitch marks and stuff, I'm like, man, like the grass feels so tough.
Yes.
Like it shouldn't be this fast.
Yeah, the same grass that's in the fairway is used on the green, and it's a very tight green. It doesn't give up anything.
I'm like, the way this is so tight, I feel like this should be slow.
Yeah.
But you putt on it, and it's fast. And then Chris, one of the caddies, explained that the grain will pull the ball itself.
Yes.
So if you know which way the grain is going, even if you don't see a break, it's going to break that way because the grain is going that way.
Right.
And I'm just like, good night.
Right.
I mean, like, well, what am I supposed to do? I'm a bum who's like I can't. And then I'm watching these guys out there, and I'm thinking they don't have these caddies and stuff. I'm like, their experience must be.
We get way worse.
I can only imagine what it would have been without
for the person listening. If you can imagine looking at, like, say, just imagine a picture in your head, a green tilted slightly to the left, right? A normal green, you would say that's going to break left. Here, to what Claude was saying about the grain, and this is real, I had a putt that was on a green that was tilted slightly left. The caddy said, well, which way do you think this is going to break? I said, up and to the left a little bit. He said, no, it's going to go hard right. And I believed him, but I was like, what is this nonsense? And I hit it, and it goes hard right uphill almost. And he said exactly what Claude said. The grain takes the ball. If you can imagine, it's almost like the way I thought of it was like currents in the ocean. Like, so it could be all flat out there, and you drop like a buoy somewhere on the left side, and it pulls it, down and across or something. It's like, why is that? There's just a little current, this little grain there
that you don't see,
that you cannot see. So it's the caddies, like Claude said and LB said, are invaluable. Yeah, that's fair. But you know what? To be fair to LB, Daryl did say our caddy, or I'm sorry, Daryl told us on the first day when we played number 7 that when we said, hey, we're playing number 2 tomorrow, he's like, hey, some people love it. Some people hate it. So LB's not alone. He's not alone in that.
And by the way, and I agree 100% with LB, where aesthetically it's nothing to look at.
No, it's an ugly course.
Yeah, like there's not one hole on the course that there's no hole on the course that I'm like,
that was a beautiful hole.
Yeah, no, I don't. There's a few that I remember. Fair. I think 2 and 3 I remember. There's a few, maybe 4. But for the most part, there's nothing that I was like, overly like this hole is like, amazing. Signature. Yeah.
Right.
But I love number 2.
I do too.
Oh my God, I love number 2. Aaron, let's get you on this mic real quick. You played number 2. What are your thoughts?
I was very impressed by it. I love it all. And I think despite what LB has said, or even which I think is beautiful. I think it's beautiful because I believe that they took the natural contours of the land and tried not to over design it by putting perfect rough and all that kind of stuff. You got what the land gave you. And I think it's an environmental thing not to have lush rough all over the place. This is the natural land.
Right.
And so you have these pretty much not perfect, but very fair fairways in the middle of this.
You said fair?
Yes.
Yes, very, very, very fair, I believe.
Yeah.
Because the fairways ran out.
They run out.
Tight.
Yeah.
They were very, very tight. So it was to me easy to hit iron shots off of them because they were so tight. And to me, the greens are the star, but what we fail to mention is the areas around the greens. That's the character of number 2.
The approaches.
Yes.
Oh my God. Yeah.
If you miss on the wrong side,
you ain't lying.
You're in trouble.
Yeah.
So I love number 2. I love it. To me, number 2 is a star.
That is something we forgot to mention. If you missed the green, there were times where you were just punished.
Yeah.
Punished. I mean, it's rolling off and going into the sand.
Yeah.
I mean, I can't think of a green that wasn't protected by a couple bunkers.
Yeah, and I appreciate that. I appreciate the defense. I'm kind of with Aaron in there. I appreciate the defense being, and I do. The part that I think is fair is you can ground your club. And for anybody who doesn't know, who hasn't done any research, you can ground your club everywhere on the course. There is no penalty bunker. So it's just like cool. It rolled, a foot into this stuff and it's behind a bush. Take the bush out. Go do your best. You know what I'm saying? Give it your best. And then the greens, I say that part is the natural defense. And then the part that is, I guess you would attribute to Donald Ross's design are the approaches, like the false fronts in those defenses. And even those are only on like the first 7 or 8 holes, and then you get to the back 9, and there's a chance for you to score. There's a chance for you to do.
There was that one hole. I forget which one it was.
The mound.
It was shaped like a dome.
Yes.
Yeah, I do remember
the green
that.
was just shaped like a big dome.
Yeah.
I'm like, come on, man, what we doing here?
Lawrence did not have a good time when we played too.
And it rained. Don't forget the rain. It rained for like 4 holes.
Pinehurst is not responsible for the rain.
Yeah. Lawrence didn't have a good time. I mean, when we were at dinner after playing number 4, we're laughing and joking. Everybody's having a good time.
Yeah.
Lunch after number 2 was a real down.
It was tough.
It was
tough.
It was a
very quiet lunch.
Somber almost, right? But number 2 was great. I mean, to me. I mean, we.
No, I'm glad I had the experience. I'm glad I played it. I can say I've done it. I've seen it, been there, done that.
Would you play it again?
The T-shirt. More than likely, I'm gonna end up playing it again because you knuckleheads gonna want to play it. So it'll be part of the package the next time we come.
Yeah.
But I would suggest that we play the courses that we have not played before we start repeating.
Mm-hmm.
That would just be my suggestion.
Right.
But hey, what the hell do I know?
Yeah.
Do we talk about? When we gonna talk about the? Like the bags, the cart bags, and all that nonsense.
We'll get to the tips at the end. We got some valuable tips coming up for you guys.
That's coming up at the end. Let's jump to number 4, which was the third course that we played.
Yeah.
Number 4, today. Aesthetically, I think it's better than 2.
Oh, okay.
But so here's the thing about 4 and 7 is like I compare it to like if you wanted to compare like Whiskey Creek and Musket Ridge, from a design standpoint, as far as it being open, they're different. You know what I mean? They're not the same. And so
7 is a more heavily woodland.
Yeah. So I appreciate 7 for what it is, and I appreciate 4 for what it is. I can't compare them.
Yeah.
But I can compare 4 to 2. I think aesthetically 4 is better than 2.
Yes, absolutely. I agree.
But I enjoy 2 better than 4.
Right.
Even though I shot better on 4 than I did. 2.
Yeah. 4 is definitely probably the easiest of the, and that's tough. You know what? It's tough to say what is easy and what isn't. Like Aaron said, we drove down and played like trash on 7.
Well, I mean,
they're all
my 95 was pretty regular.
but
I was happy with that on a Pinehurst.
I think both 4 and 7 can be a tough test on any given day. So
sure,
I don't want to spin it that way. Where if you're like we're not sure which ones we want to add to your number 2 package. Oh, they said 4 was easy or 7 is easy. Not the case. They play them both.
And honestly, on any of these, you have to just hit shots.
Yeah, you got to you can't get stuck in a bunker for 5 shots.
Right. I just didn't feel like the course did me in. My shots, on 2 did me in.
Right.
It wasn't the course.
I haven't looked. I mean, we're all debating about what's harder. There's an objective rating for this, slope rating, course rating, but. Without looking at it, I would say I think 7 is probably more difficult than 4. Now that I think about it, even
100%.
Yeah, even from the whites where we play, because 4 is kind of more open, like 2, and you can ground your club anywhere. 7 is not that. They have classical bunkers that you gotta, you can't ground your club. So I'd say 7.
And 2 is not open.
What do you mean? Course number 2?
Yeah, it's not open. As far as like open fairways, it's way narrower.
It's narrower, but
than 4. It's more narrow than 4.
Yeah, but you're not. That's true. Yeah. 4 has wider fairways, but you're not gonna lose the ball on 2.
No.
Yeah.
You're not gonna lose it, but it's gonna be behind a pine tree or behind some big mound of grass.
Yeah,
you're not
gonna
lose it. You can find it. I'm just saying you can find it. I'm not saying you're gonna get it out, but you can find it. That's for sure. You can find it.
Okay.
Yeah, and there's no water.
But I feel like
there's no water on 2.
4 has water. Yeah.
Yeah, 4 has water. 7,
2 has 1 on the back. There's
was there water?
Yeah. Because I have a picture of it.
Okay.
Yeah, exactly.
Okay.
Yeah.
But that was maybe that one spot.
Single.
There's no water running down the fairways.
No.
If you go left, you go in the water. There's nothing like that to really lose your ball. So, yeah, Aaron, you wanted to say something. Come on.
Yeah, I just wanted to say that I think that's the beauty of Pinehurst is that we've only played 3 of the 11,
9 or 11,
courses
or
whatever they have. All of them are fair. If you hit the shots, then you can play a pretty good round.
Yeah.
None of them are unfair.
That's every course.
Right. That's what I'm saying. And I think that's the beauty of it is that it's in great condition.
Yeah.
It's in great condition. The greens are incredible.
Yes.
You may have some weird chipping areas or you have to run shots up or putt 20 20 yards off the green because that's better than trying to chip.
Yeah.
But it's fair. That's the beauty of the whole place to me, is that you're playing these great golf courses, one in which they've had U.S. Opens on the men's and the women's side.
Yes.
And you can play them publicly. You can come down here for a little bit of money, but not too much, and play them. And they're all fair.
Agreed.
Lawrence doesn't like Pinehurst. I'm just going to be honest with you. I don't think you like
I don't think that's his taste.
There's some things. If
7 and 4, you were walk with. It's just 2. Two is not your cup of tea.
2 was just
no
not
big deal.
good. Yeah, exactly. I mean, for the area itself, there's some things I would like to see it change, but it's kind of in its own little secluded universe out here.
This is it.
So and I'm assuming Bandon's going to be even worse.
Or greater.
Well, depending on your perspective. There are going. I'm sorry. I don't want to change the subject, but let's continue on, and then we'll get back to my rants later.
No, well, I mean, that's all I really have for number 4. I mean, I thought it was good, but let's jump. I guess if I had to rank them. So if I had to rank them, 2 would be 1, but 2's not even in this category. Like I just feel something special about 2.
I agree.
I can't even,
again, because of the historical value. I can appreciate that. Right. Yeah. I mean, this is a golf mecca type joint place.
Yes.
That's what number 2 is. It has unprecedented historical value in this country
and character.
Yeah. Character is overstated, but okay.
All right.
But it has something that makes it special to the people in this country.
Okay.
That they believe that this course is the bee's knees, as they say back in these 1923 pictures that we have all around us.
Quote, it has something that is special to the people in this country. It's a ringing endorsement from Lawrence Brooks on number 2. I got you.
Yeah.
I got you.
Shout out to Jay, by the way, who got us in this conference room that we're in right now. So 2's in a whole different stratosphere, and 4 and 7 are so different that I can't even really rank one over the other.
I'd probably go 7-4. I'd probably go 2 is by itself, and then I would go 7-4. I had it the other way, but the more I thought about it today with 4, it's fun. 4 is definitely a fun round.
I enjoy 4. I mean, I played like trash again, but it was a good course.
Yeah. 4 has the benefit of being the last one that we played, and so it's fresher. You know what I mean? But you're right. The more I think about it, 7 probably was, I
think
the better one.
The better of the 2. Yeah, and you know what? This is a benefit to if you're going to plan a trip to Pinehurst. We can't even decide. I mean, we're splitting hairs here.
Yeah.
With the exception of 2 for LB, we're splitting hairs.
Right.
Yeah. So
I don't think you'll be disappointed one way or the other.
Exactly.
No.
Exactly.
No. I mean, the whole trip, you will enjoy yourself. I mean, that's hands down. You're going to have a good time.
Yes.
One way or the other. Whether you like the courses or not, you're still going to have a good time because, again, the food is good. As long as you come with a good group of people, you'll be fine.
Yeah. And like you said, they know how to treat a golfer.
They do.
Yeah.
They do. Speaking of treating a golfer, we had caddies for all 3 rounds.
Yeah, we had a 4 caddy for number 7, which is basically, for those who don't know, a gentleman who, we're riding in carts, and he'll just run out ahead, and he'll give you the target.
Yeah,
before he runs out.
Yeah, and distance and all that kind of stuff.
Right, and calls your shot, and
He just only thing he's not doing is lugging your clubs.
That's it. Yeah,
that's the only difference.
And then for 2 and 4, we had traditional. We had a double caddy.
Right. And you have to walk those courses. That is to be clear. You have to walk. No, I take that back. 4, you can take a cart,
but it's car
path only.
Yeah,
right.
No point in doing that.
Yeah, but there were plenty of people who were doing it. I didn't understand it, but there were people doing it. So that was only the differences between.
You can also go caddy-less at those courses and bring a cart and wheel yourself around.
Push cart.
Yeah, push cart.
I believe they had some too that you could rent because I believe I saw some downstairs.
Yeah, they
did.
did.
But you better know how to read some greens.
You better know where your ball's going. Because you're going to lose a ball in the thicket.
Yeah, 100%. 100%. Yeah. I mean, there were times I would hit one in the waist areas and had no clue where it went, or I thought I did, but I couldn't find it.
Right.
Cat is just like, it's a little further up. It's right there.
Keep walking.
Yeah. And I was like, wow. I mean, but these guys know the course. Let's talk a little bit about the caddies. So we had Daryl, we had Sam, we had Jacob, we had Chris, and Daryl again with Chris.
Right.
I enjoyed all of them. But the interesting thing was the difference in their personalities, how they interacted with us. And we had talked about this not too long ago on the show about, the different type of caddies that we would respond to or that we thought that we needed.
Yes.
Of course, I was like, I'd like a more social one who's going to talk, we'll laugh, and stuff like
Relaxed.
that, and will then also help me, with a putt and things like that. But just understood that I'm just kind of a person who a little more relaxed. I don't need you tense. You know what I mean?
Right.
And Vern more so on the instructional side, as I see. But LB, as far as you, what kind of caddy works well?
Just as long as they have a good attitude.
Okay.
Just not too. I forget my one guy. I don't even know how to explain him. He just seemed a little bit
serious.
He's too serious, dude. Yeah. Right. I'm not that good a golfer in the first place. And don't be trying to give me, you can make this shot. Take it through them trees. I'm like, come on, man. I know I can't make that.
Right.
And if I do, it's luck. You know what I mean? There's no skill in this. This is straight luck.
Right.
But that's his mentality. Is he's a go for it guy. He's gonna take that kind of risk. Right. I'm not. No, that's not my style. Right. At least in this sport. He was okay. That the one in particular. But given a choice, I wouldn't have picked him. Right.
Okay. Yeah. And I like the more personable guys. But I think no matter which one we tend to gravitate to. Just the caddy themselves were so helpful.
Yes.
I mean, it showed me that I have no clue how to read greens.
None whatsoever.
No clue how to read greens. And they just see the game differently. Yeah. I mean, it's like your target should be that, but your miss is this. And so if you're going to miss it this way.
Right.
It's like I'm just thinking like, as if I can choose my miss. You know what I mean? Or as if I know, I don't.
One thing, too, I think most of the caddies they're obviously, not obviously, but they were good golfers themselves.
Yes.
I don't know about the one guy.
Chris?
No.
Jacob?
Jacob. I don't know what his golf
I don't know.
IQ was. Or, his handicap.
I don't know what his handicap was, but we were talking, and I got the sense he was pretty solid.
Good.
Pretty solid.
Because I know the others were
pretty good golfers.
Yeah, because one was a college.
Well, shout
player.
out to Chris. He played at NC State. Right. Graduated class of 2020.
Wolfpack.
And so shout out to him. I mean, he's fresh out of college.
Right.
Yeah. Right. So if you're I don't know, if you're a better golfer than, I don't know, maybe you're not even listening to this, but if you're a mid-high handicapper, what Claude said about reading the greens is obviously valuable. But the other place that they're valuable is they can tell you, as they become familiar with your game and how trash or not trash you are, they can kind of tell you where to miss. They know, all right, this guy hits push fades or something when he misses. So they're going to kind of be like, all right, what do it's 120. What's that for you? A pitching wedge. Okay, I want you to aim, here. And it might not be right at the green, but he's aiming you so that basically if you don't execute like you have it on the previous 6,
right,
then when you miss,
you won't be in that big of trouble.
Exactly, because Chris was really helpful with that for me today or whatever. And you know what? Here's tip. Well, I mean, I don't know. We get to the tip section, but tip number 1 is when you come down here. Like LB said, kind of, if you've never played with caddies before, then I guess you probably don't need this tip, but kind of know your game and know where you need to maybe not push back. I mean, not rudely, but just be like, well, like LB said, I don't think I can do that, but I feel comfortable taking a full shot, or I feel comfortable taking a punch. If I were to do that, what would you recommend? Right. Because for the most part, because today at the end of the round with Chris, we started to get a rapport with each other where I tell him, all right, look, I know I might not land this green. Where should I miss? The right side's fat. Cool. And I would, aim over there and miss to the right or whatever it is. So knowing your game and then knowing when to push back, I think is kind of super helpful because like LB said, you're going to get caddies of all types. Younger guys might be a little bit more aggressive. They might try to be like, hey, can you hit a such and such shot? And then your ego is going to tell you,
oh yeah, I can do that.
Yeah, I can do that.
Goodness well, you can't.
No. So you kind of have to, know your game a little bit, know when to be like, no, I'm not going to do that. Yeah. But listen to them.
Right.
Do listen
to
them.
Listen to them.
Especially on number 2.
One person who fell in love with the caddies was Aaron. Aaron, grab this mic and just talk about the value that you saw in the caddies over the weekend.
Well, for me, the best thing about the caddies were reading the greens. Like you all have said before, I know nothing about reading greens. I know nothing about putting, and I learned this weekend that I really know nothing about putting.
Right.
And to me, over the course of 3 rounds, I'm not even exaggerating, I think the caddies saved me 30 shots, literally, especially on number 2. And to me, this is the beauty of number 2, that if we had been out there by ourselves, just playing, I would have putted at least a dozen balls off the green.
Oh, yeah.
Off the green.
Agreed.
Then I would have been stressed trying to chip it back on the green, bladed it over the other side of the green, and all that kind of stuff. So yeah, I mean, I think the whole caddy experience is something that every golfer, if given the chance, and of course if they have the resources, because it does cost.
It does.
Then everyone should experience that, because I think it's just, to me, the caddies, and of course being with you guys, just made this is the best golf trip I have ever been on. And I will never forget this.
Nice.
Wow.
Oh,
Nice.
you're welcome. You're welcome.
Yeah, Lawrence is the one that plans it all, ladies and gentlemen.
Solely responsible
there we go.
for all of the joy.
The only beef I had with the caddies was at Pinehurst number 2.
Yeah.
LB and Vern's caddy, Jacob said, okay, guys, if your birdie putt or par putt doesn't fall short, your par is good. Yeah, or your bogey is good.
So what Claude's saying is if we got on, like say we got on in 2 and we had a makeable birdie putt, like a 6-foot birdie putt, Jacob was not out here to see bums.
Yeah.
Pussyfoot and leaving it short. So he said that. So what he, like Claude said, what he would say is, hey, I'm gonna give you the read. You're gonna get this to the hole. Don't worry about your par putt. So in essence, what he's doing is like a mind game with you of like, don't try to protect par, be aggressive. And which goes back to what LB was saying.
Be a man.
Right.
Yeah. But it was good, Claude, because it gives you a sense of, all right, if I know I'm not going to lose that stroke, or if I know I'm not going to lose par or bogey or whatever it is, what would I do? And more often than not, toward the end, I stopped leaving them short.
Yeah.
And confidence.
Yeah, but I mean, I love that. It's just the fact that my caddy and me and Aaron's caddy didn't do that for us.
Yeah.
So if we left a birdie or a par putt short or long, we still had to try to make the comeback.
Yeah, well.
And y'all caddy just let y'all have. It's like, wait a minute, how come he's not, doing the same thing? It was whatever. And so
we love you, Sam.
Yeah. Thank you so much, Sam. So so let's go to useful tips. So if someone's planning a trip down here to Pinehurst, thinking about doing it, let's get into things you need to know. And you guys just go back and forth with whichever you feel. We'll start with Vern.
Okay. All right. So, number one off break that we didn't know until we got here. If you have a cart bag, and you don't consider getting a stand bag.
Stand bag.
Consider getting a nice stand bag. We have LB and I think all three of us actually have cart bags. Yeah, because your bags are not your bag, but Claude's bag is my old bag.
Yeah.
And when you get here, the caddies will switch them out. If you don't know, not even for weight, even if I don't have anything in my car bag because my car bag was pretty light, they will switch them out for these stand bags that they have just downstairs in like the caddy shack. And the reason they do this is because, according to Jacob, the cart bags fall down around the green. He explained to us, he said, look, the stand bags allow us to move quicker. The faster I can move, the faster, because these are double caddies, so they're carrying 2 bags. The faster I can move, the faster I can help the golfer. And we had no idea. Now they told us when we got here, it's like, oh, don't worry, they'll just swap it out. So you go down to the caddy shack, you meet up with your caddy, you move all your stuff, whatever you want to carry. And Jacob was very clear about saying, look, I'm not worried about the weight. You're not going to kill me with weight. I just need to be able to pick up, and have my bag ready. So Aaron had his own stand bag ready, and he got to, so he could keep all his stuff in his bag. Right. So if you want to keep your stuff in your bag, get a stand bag before you come down here, and potentially for any other course that has caddies where they need to walk. Just I'm not sure if this is a common practice, but we didn't know that coming down here.
No, we didn't know that at all.
So that was a whole switch out thing. So that's tip number one: get a stand bag.
Yeah. Another tip. I am trying to think of another tip. Okay. One thing that I just something I noticed. Okay. The first 2 days there were no bugs. There were no gnats, no mosquitoes. It was very. It was. I was surprised. I honestly was surprised. Today we had a few more bugs, but it wasn't. This time of the year I expect gnats and things buzzing in your ear and stuff. But the first 2 days there weren't any. I don't know if they was. Do they do anything special here to spray or anything to keep them down? I don't know, but I was pleasantly surprised at the amount of there wasn't of any the bugs
that weren't there. Yeah. So what is it? Oh, for the caddies and for tipping, this may be obvious. I don't know. nobody really carries cash like that anymore. So we all just kind of came down here like, oh, we'll just go to an ATM on the resort. Some of the people on the resort didn't know that there were ATMs in the main.
Which was crazy to me.
There's 2 of them in the Carolina Hotel, I believe.
Yeah, and we're like, hey, no ATMs
No ATMs around here.
Yeah.
We don't deal in cash. Nobody carries cash. This is it's not really a tip, but more of a critique. Probably the only one that I wish they would figure out, that I want Pinehurst to figure out. We got to do something about the caddy payment situation. So the way it works is there's a caddy fee. Let's say it's $75. Well, they first were like, okay, cool. We pay that at the shop at the golf course. No, that's just charges to your room. Oh, okay. Well, how do we tip the caddies? Oh, you tip them in cash directly. Okay. Do you have cash? No, we don't. Where's the ATM? It was a whole situation. Then we got to go get the cash, and you got to break down. And then the annoying part is they'll tell you in the brochures when you do research on Pinehurst, the caddy fee is $75, and we recommend a tip of $50. Pinehurst, just put it all, either put it all in one, or find a way for us to digitally pay them. It seems really annoying that you can charge us, directly from the club to your room, but and it's not that I don't mind paying the caddies in cash.
Oh, 100, yeah.
But it's just a pain in the ass sometimes when you have like a large group of fellas trying to figure out how to break down how to pay the kid. No, just make it a flat fee if you really want to be helpful.
Because we want to pay the caddy.
Yeah, just roll it into the fee. Make it not $75, make it $125 a caddy.
Right.
Nobody would know. We would just budget it. We would be good. So that part was a little bit tricky. Just come with like, $100, $200 ready to break down at the end of each round for your caddy.
Another tip would be how we plan the rounds. And you had mentioned this. You don't want to plan 2 and 4 back to back.
That was the other one.
Yeah, you want to plan, if it's 4, go 4, then go 7 or 8 or something, where you can pretty much rest, take a cart, and then go 2.
Yeah. So for those who don't know, 4, we walk 2 and 4. 4 is a tougher walk than 2.
It is.
4 has a lot more elevation changes, right?
Yeah.
2 is relatively flat. So, like Claude was saying, just space them out. If you're doing 4 or 5 rounds or whatever, just keep that in mind. Because like we got lucky where we did 7, which was ride. You can ride with 7.
Yeah.
So you can ride in the car with 7.
Yep.
So you would do something like, walk 2 first, then take a day where you ride 7, where you rest, and then walk 4. But if you go 2, 4 back to back, that might be if you have older members in your group or guys who aren't there.
Or just not used to walking.
Not used to walking.
Back to back.
Exactly.
Because at the end of 4, my feet was like, "Hey, buddy, what are you doing?"
Your legs can give out on you, whatever. So definitely put 4. And if I don't know if you can walk 7, I imagine you can. If you were.
Yeah, I think there were people walking.
Yeah, there were 2 young ladies who were walking 7. I think one played in high school, was a high school golfer. Right. Yeah, and one was like a collegiate.
Yeah, so 7 and 4 are hilly. So definitely put those either at the beginning, booking those at the trip, and then put some riding and some easy ones in there. 2 is an easy. 2, I would say 2 is a relatively easy walk though.
Yeah, absolutely. Any more tips for anybody?
I think that's it.
No, I can't think of anything.
Come down and have fun.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? It's a fun trip. You got to do it. Yeah. Is that anything else for the Pinehurst takeaways? I mean, it was just a fun trip. Like I said,
great trip all around. Shout out to LB for putting it together.
Shout out to LB putting it together. Shout out to Jay. Shout out to Jay giving us his conference room, the caddies. Shout out to Vern for lugging around 2 cameras to document everything, man. And shout out to Aaron for coming down. I mean, just a great trip, all around. So shout out to Pinehurst. And by the way, I'm trying to find this guy's name. We're going to have a representative from Pinehurst who's going to come on at some point. His name is Alex. Alex Podlager. Yeah, he's going to come on maybe next week to talk a little bit about some of the stuff. I'll tell you what, I'll make sure Alex listens to the show, and maybe some of the things we had to talk about he can address in the next show, and we'll see if he if he can do that. But now for the big announcement. LB, you're kind of like the lead on this big announcement thing that's happening here.
Okay.
Go ahead and give it to the people.
So let me tell you how this all transpired, and then I'll get to the story. Actually what it is.
All right.
So
strap in.
So I guess a month ago, when I was waiting for my irons to be delivered or be completed by the golf doctor. When we talked about this on the previous 3 shows ago, whatever. Yep. Yeah. So that day, that third Friday. I was waiting to hear from the golf doctor. I called and voice was going to voicemail, whatever. So I said, at one point during the day, I said, well, maybe he emailed me.
Right.
So I go look at my email and I don't see anything.
Right.
So something, I don't know what it was, but something told me, check your spam.
Okay.
So I go on my spam. There is no email from the golf doctor, but there is an email of some consequence in my spam folder.
Okay.
This was I can tell them who it is now. Can I tell them who
yes,
it is?
please do.
Okay.
Please do.
The email was from a PR company whose name I'm not going to say at this moment, but it was for an invitation to participate in the media day for the BMW Championship at Caves Valley.
Golf DMV's blowing up, folks.
That's right. Moving on up. We're legit now.
The weird part was when I opened up this spam email and I read it, and I look at the deadline, it's like it had to be due by today, that day by 5 p.m. and it was 3 o'clock then.
Yes.
So I immediately
called both of us.
Called them both direct. It was no texting. I called directly. Hey, pick up the phone. Pick up the phone.
Yeah.
Check your email. So the long and short of it, we have been invited to participate in the media day for the BMW Championship, which will be part of the FedEx tournament.
Yes.
In late August. The top 70 golfers at that point will still the top 70 golfers that are still alive in the FedEx playoff race.
Right.
So we will be participating in that on this Monday, the 28th.
Yep.
At Caves Valley, and we will also part of this package that we will be this program. We will actually get to play Caves Valley.
Yep.
With caddies and walking again, which is another reason why, if you all remember, we had planned to play 4 rounds of golf while we were here in Pinehurst.
We had number 8 on the schedule.
Right, for Sunday. Well, we canceled our portion of that, so we have a day to get back home and hopefully recuperate.
Right.
Then be ready to play Caves Valley and do well since so we can do well and not embarrass ourselves fully in front of a bunch of people that we don't know.
Yeah. It's like, why do we invite these bums to media day?
Yeah, exactly.
You know, your press credentials are revoked.
Yeah, exactly.
So we are one of the reasons we're drinking this, other than to commemorate our trip. One of the reasons we're drinking this expensive liquor is to celebrate. This is a milestone for us. I mean, this hopefully will be the beginning of many tournaments that we are part of the media conglomerate now.
Yeah.
Toast to Golf DMV.
Toast to Golf
DMV. Yes, sir.
And everybody affiliated and all the people
who
are affiliated and friends and family of the show.
You got to drink. You put it back down.
Oh, sorry.
That kills the toast, man. If you don't drink.
Insincere toast. No, I'm super excited about it. There may be some other stuff coming on the back end of that. For Caves.
Yeah, I hope so.
I hope so too. And also, just today, from all of our interaction with other people, well, I'm not going to say any names yet, just on Pinehurst, we've got other stuff in the works that may also make us even more legit. With some people who've reached out to us on IG. We hope that everything comes through and they're not faking. Because it will be exciting.
It would be very exciting.
Yeah, exactly. So
I mean,
you're talking about Joe House?
Yes.
Okay.
I don't know why I was talking around it like it's a secret.
No, I mean we don't know. I mean we'll see.
Yeah, we'll see. He put some stuff out there, and we're just going to see. And hopefully,
I had a chance to work with Joe House at Tony Kornheiser's spot.
There you go, at Cheddar's.
So
it's not. We don't have to make it open secret, but then
we got some stuff with
Chatter.
Exactly. Cheddar's.
Yeah.
Chatter. Like I wasn't on the show then, guys. It was a different guy. But I'm definitely looking forward to Caves Valley. And again, as we wrap up, just stay tuned. I'm going to make some announcements on Instagram. I have a lot of content to go through, but 3 days of golf.
Shout out to Vern for getting that done.
But I'm going to put together three dope videos, and then there'll be another one for Caves Valley, but we won't get to that until the following week when we talk about the media day.
Yeah, we'll report that what happened at Caves Valley next week on next week's show.
Yep.
But we are. I am ecstatic about it. I really am. I know you can hear it in my voice. I am. I mean, really, this is pretty big. This is cool. This is
4 years of work.
Yeah, man.
Here we go.
It's starting to pay off. So I appreciate Carl for taking me under his wing and letting me ride along on his shirt tail.
That's right.
Yeah, I guess that's what I'm doing. I'm just sitting here recording the podcast.
I do want to say really quick. I do want to say today at dinner, Claude was breaking down the history of Golf DMV with Aaron. And, he started at the top very objectively. It's like, look, when Golf DMV first started, it was just me. It was me, and I reviewed GMs and blah, blah, blah. Now, he was being objective, explaining it to Aaron. But I nudged the LB. I said, take note of how confident he says that.
Right.
As this takes off.
I mean, if there's ever a need for me to do it by myself again, I guess I could.
And LB and I do less and less. And his phone stops working.
Yeah. Hey, guys, we'll get you back on the show in 2 more months.
Is that called on Golf Channel? Wearing a Golf DMV hat?
I mean, it is what it is. All right, folks, it's Golf DMV. Hope you enjoyed it. Get to Pinehurst at some point. Play all of them, include number 2. And stuff like
don't worry about number 2. You'll be fine.
Just have fun, man. All right, we'll catch up next week.